What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.
Opinionated, outspoken, informative. The Jaguar Journal. Your source for the latest information on Southern University sports and SWAC athletics. A Baton Rouge sports talk tradition.
Good morning, everybody. It is the Jaguar Journal. I am Perry White. Glad to have you guys with me this morning. It is Saturday. It is the summertime. It is heating up. June 21st, 2025. The kids are out of school. They're hanging out. You guys are taking care of them, and I hope you're doing a good job at home of everything that you're doing. I hope you guys are ready for a great show today in store for you, talking about a little Juneteenth. We're going to also talk about the SU Summer Band Camp. My man, Dr. Kedrick Taylor, is going to come on and talk to us about what's happening on campus this upcoming week as high schoolers from all across the country will be making their way to Baton Rouge to take part in the Southern University High School Summer Band Camp. As well as we're going to talk about the Southern University Alumni Federation. My man, Carlton Jones Jr., who's the national president for the Alumni Federation, is going to come and talk to us. They're going to have the big leadership conference that's going to be held up in Shreveport at the Southern University Shreveport campus. And, of course, we're going to talk the MEAC SWAC Challenge with nobody better than John Grant, the executive director of the MEAC SWAC Challenge, as well as the Celebration Bowl. All of these things are starting to happen. These are events that are going to be happening for Southern University, and there's no reason we shouldn't be talking about it. But something I am going to talk about with all that out the way. Did y'all watch the College Baseball World Series this week? You know, I know this is a Southern show, and, you know, we talk to SWAC and everything else, but, Jesus, that LSU and Arkansas game, you just couldn't have found that in a horror movie for Arkansas the way that happened. And, you know, I'm going to tell you something. And for me, and I want people to understand why I'm bringing this up, because I'm going somewhere with it. The mystique behind the LSU brand, right, of what we've seen probably within the past, 20 years, 25 years, this mystique of a national brand of everywhere that it goes, it has this energy behind it, no matter from coast to coast, north to south, borders, doesn't matter. That brand and that mystique comes from the big games and finding ways to win those big games to create new fans. Now, for me, what's interesting about that is, and I'm gonna relate that to Southern. Southern, to me, once had that mystique about it. So it still has something. But it was like that lure of watching Southern on television and in these games and in these tough situations. It's just like, how did they find a way to pull that out? How did they win that game? When the lights are bright, when everybody's watching, and it is your moment for a casual person who's out there watching who don't know anything about you to instantly become a fan of you because of the dynamic way of how you pull something off. That's what creates magical moments for fan bases. That's what creates magical moments for a person out there who may not even know who you are, but they watched the game and said, wow. A magical moment like that is how I became a Southern fan. The Bayou Classic, 2000, NBC, Southern versus Grambling. Hell of a game. Magical moment. It's those moments like that that creates and captivates young people and say, that's where I want to go. I want to go be a part of something. Whatever that is, that's where I want to be. That's why we always talk about athletics. It's the front porch to any institution. It's the first thing you see when you're coming into before you even get to the door. And because it is in that placement for the university, it creates moments that energize people. It creates moments that motivate people to say, that's where I want to go. I want to be a part of it. And whether they play the sports or not, because for years we've known Southern's band has continued to do that. They go places. It's a magical moment when people get a chance to see the band and they say, I want to go to Southern because of the band. Athletics once held that position at Southern as well, especially the 90s. The 90s was a great era, and now it makes all the more sense of why people have a hard time letting go of the 90s. Oh, we got to make it great like Pete Richardson again. Oh, we got to do it like Roger Kadar again. Oh, Ben Joe. It was the 90s of watching Southern in high-state games with an audience watching and captivating people to make them in magical moments say, I want to be a fan of that school. Matter of fact, I want to go to that school. Those are the magical moments that creates new fans. Those are the magical moments that bring people in, that reel them in. That's where it starts. That's where it begins. And I noticed that with that game with LSU and Arkansas. Because I'm going to tell you, Arkansas is a school. The Razorbacks are a school that every time they get the nation to watch them with the lights are the brightest and all eyes are watching and something major is on the line, I can't make this up. They will find the most Arkansas way to lose it, and they lose out on magical moments where people can be like, you know what, hell of a game. Man, Arkansas did something right there that I'd never forget. Arkansas always finds a way to come on the backside of that, Jess. Wait, I shouldn't have said it like that. Arkansas will always find a way to lose in the most Arkansas way. In the most Arkansas way. And when you have that opportunity to reel people in, you lose them. And that's, to me, what makes LSU who they are on the national stage for people to be drawn to the brand that they are. And I relate that to Southern because Southern wants, to me, it doesn't quite hold it much anymore. That magical mystique about itself. When you show up, it's just the name. That's simply what it is. It's when you show up, it's the name, and that's simply what it is. When you're on the schedule, people looking at that name saying, all right, they're on our schedule this year. It makes people get up. It excites people. It brings in a television audience because everybody want to see what's going to happen. It brings fans to the stands because people want to see it in person. They want to see, are they going to experience something, whatever this is, that's magical, that associates with this program. Can we see it in person? And as I sit there and I watch that game, and I've seen how many times LSU has been in those moments where it has become magical, and I'm using this in context for people out there to understand what it means when you build a brand and what brand building looks like. Because I think for Southern, we're still living on a brand that we have not rebranded ourselves. We're still living on something of the past and still trying to make it work of today. But it's those magical moments that creates fans. It's those magical moments that make people give in large numbers to say, we are a part of that. Now, y'all tell me if I'm wrong. Because remember, some of you got, the vast majority of y'all have been around a lot longer than me. A lot of you guys, you had no other way. You grew up in this, and this is what it was going to be. I'm the person that I'm explaining to you that didn't have no ties to Southern University, not one single family member. I don't have any single family member in the state of Louisiana. So how would I fall in love with Southern? Why would I like Southern? And I don't even have any ties to it. Some of you guys, from the moment you were born, you knew you was going to be Jaguars because that was just the way the home was set up. Your parents and grandparents had season tickets. Some of y'all was the first to be the part of having the RVs. You were out tailgating. You grew up in your entire lives being it. I'm the outside looking in, which is why a lot of people sometimes have an issue with me, because it's like, well, you didn't grow up around this. But I am what I'm speaking about, the fan who watched a magical moment on television and said, I want to be a part of that. Didn't come into the Bayou Classic in person and got a chance to see the mystique in person, from the band to the football team, the way the game was won, all of these things, and I got a chance to see it in person. And when I came back home for the next 2 months, that's all I could talk about. Was this magical moment that I experienced in the Superdome down in New Orleans, and I became a fan. The Bayou Classic was just another trip. It wasn't, hey, we're going for this. It was just a trip. But it's that within itself that creates the brand that made me go home and get Southern shirts, Southern hoodies. I knew at some point in my life I was going to end up at Southern. Let's get ready to take a break. Got to take one, pay some bills. You guys just kind of let that marinate. I'll come back to that and we'll talk more about that. You can call in to 225-499-1073 if you want to. 225-499-1073 is the number. We'll be back. More of the Jaguar Journal.
Quincy Richard is the quarterback. And Don, this is a man who's really changed his game from last season, and he's a graduate student as well.
Yes, he has, Bob. Quincy Richard has matured into the unquestioned leader of this Southern University offensive attack. 10 wins this season, and he set school marks for passing yards and touchdown passes. And Bobby's had a lot of help. Only 5 sacks on the season.
He earned his undergraduate degree back in August. He's taking some master's classes, and he wants to be a lawyer.
Here's Richard looking in the end zone. Has a man there. Touchdown, Southern University.
Play clock.
it off over the middle. Touchdown!
Holmes goes in motion and comes set on a 1st and 10. Richard completes it. That's Ard. Ard down the sideline. He could go. And finally pushed out of bounds. Richard's run for 10 touchdowns this season. He's going to keep it. Richard goes in. Make it 11 for Quincy Richard. Richard wide open. Touchdown, Chris Davis. Oh, does he love playing football even more now?
That in the flag against Grambling, holding on the kickoff.
Richard looking deep, and it's a touchdown.
But only 3 times did he go down. Twice he ran out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. It goes down as a sack.
2nd and 8, the deep ball, and that's our man, Chris Davis, for the touchdown. Time for today's State Farm Players of the Game. And from Southern University, the quarterback, number 15, Quincy Richard, 34 of 42, 552 yards, 5 touchdown passes.
Quincy, on behalf of State Farm Insurance Companies, I want to present you with a trophy for the most outstanding player today. Congratulations.
All right, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning, everybody. I'm Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us, everybody listening on Talk 107.3 FM right here in the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody listening across the nation in our various spots, hot spots. Let's go to the phone line right now. We got Chuck on the line always. Chuck from Monroe. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning to you all, and good morning to you, Brother White, Brother Patel, and the listening and viewing audience. I was just calling what you were just talking about. You were talking about the University of Arkansas. They have a heavy support base up here in Northeast Louisiana, right here in Monroe and that area. I'm closer to Arkansas, and I see a lot of people in the area with not just LSU, but they have University of Arkansas paraphernalia on, and people from Arkansas come into Monroe, and there are people from Monroe that went to Arkansas and or those that played athletics, like Scotty Thurman is from Ruston, Louisiana. He played on that 94 national championship team under Nolan Richardson out of Ruston High. That was back when I was in high school at St. Frederick Catholic High School. I came out of high school in 1993. And I remember when that's when Pete Richardson became head coach at Southern. And what happened? He was an unknown. I remember Coach Richardson back when he was at Winston-Salem State. He used to watch those games on BET. That's how I became familiar with Winston-Salem State, not knowing that Southern ended up making him the head coach, and he'll become this legendary coach. But I remember what Southern was back during those times because they went through a drought during that time in the 80s because I know you at school you hate to talk about they were the one that was dominating back during the time Jackson State with W.C. Gordon. I came to the 80s. I saw that era, and we got to know Coach Gordon while he was on this side, and he was a great coach. They were dominant. Them and Alcorn was tough in the 80s, and Valley had that run with Totten and Rice. But I saw Southern back in the 90s and the 2000s. Like I said, I was at that 93 Bayou Classic with God rest his soul, Sean Wallace and Jaguar Journal, and Eric Randall was he was sophomore during the time's quarterback, and Heisman Norton was on the team. I didn't mean to go a long time, but it has things do change. Grambling had a great team during that time. Things like Eddie Robinson. But now all that has fallen off, and you have a different generation. I think what's happening now with technology, that a lot of these young people now I look at the phones, they're just not in tune to what's going on now. That group that was so supportive, many have transitioned. I'm gonna land on that one.
Thank you, Chuck.
All right, you all take care.
All right, have a good one, man. Yeah, that's the part to it. You turn that down back there a little bit. I hear myself. That's the part to it. What I'm talking about. It's always like I tell my kids, it's not about what you do, it's how you do it. I'm going to say that again. It's not about what you do, it's how you do it. And for me, just watching that, I just feel like we've lost this aura about ourselves. That game really helped me put it in perspective. As I watched how magical the moment was, and I'm like, now I'm looking back at it. I'm trying to think of a magical moment in Southern athletics here recently. Y'all tell me if I'm missing it, because I'm pretty good. I mean, the women's basketball team winning the SWAC championship this past year, it was good. It was good. It wasn't magical, though. Somewhat of a magical moment, and I guess I can put it there. Women's basketball winning that first game against, was it San Diego? UC San Diego. In, they say the volume is low on the other side listening, so the streaming volume. Please work on that for me. But the thing about it was, I don't know how much that reeled people in. I don't know how much that reeled people in. What really reels people in is the football. Is nothing against women's basketball at all. Hell, I was there to watch them win the championship. I was elated to watch them win it. Very exciting moment for me. But I want people to understand by what I'm saying is it takes these big games. Because in all honesty, it's been a while in football. Football is won games, but it's none of those games were magical moments where something was on the line and it was like, wow, how did we pull that off? And that's when the game is great. Like when you just sit back and you say, wow. Somebody said the Gonzaga moment. That would have been a magical moment. Southern versus Gonzaga in the NCAA tournament. Southern was the 16 seed. Gonzaga was the number 1 seed. Southern gave Gonzaga everything they could ask for. That was one of those moments that could have been magical, but I can't count it because we didn't win the game. All I could say was we played a hell of a game. The magical moment is when you get over the hurdle and you can win that game. That's the magical moment. And for y'all that's listening outside of radio, if you have any technical difficulties, please tell me in the comments so we can make adjustments and be able to get it. Joseph said SU women's basketball beating Oklahoma in Norman was magical. It really wasn't. You didn't even watch the game, did you? You just saw the final score. All eyes wasn't on that game. It was a game that we looked up because let's be honest, when you saw Southern playing Oklahoma, you had already written that off as a loss. Like, yeah, I'll probably watch a little bit of that. I mean, be honest. Let's be honest about it. You had already looked at it and was like, they playing Oklahoma today. Cool. Was the Jaguar Nation watching that game when Southern beat Oklahoma? Maybe a few people. Nobody even made it didn't even move the needle on social media. That's what I'm talking about. Do you see where I'm going now? When I say magical is beyond just me saying it. You see it everywhere. It's everywhere. People are talking about it. It's all over social media. Did you see the game last night? Man, how the hell did we come back? Man, that was awesome. That was great. It leaves you with a sense of a feeling within like, dude, what was that? That's what I'm talking about, magical. Yeah, we get good wins. That Southern versus Oklahoma was a really good win. Of course, I respect it. Coach Carlos Funches is always here on the show. But when I say magical, it's something that people walk away with, and when they walk away with it, they just like, wow. And people who watched it, who may not even like Southern, was like, dude, Southern, hey. I don't know what it is about them. They just always find a way to pull through. Even when it seemed like that back up against the wall, they find a way to pull through. And it's when everybody's watching. It's when the lights are bright. It gives everybody something to talk about. And we talk about it for the next 2-3 days like, dude, that was crazy. Now, for me, that has to be the lore of the 90s of what Southern fans lived through and why people to this day cherish the 90s as the golden years. Some of the best moments in Southern University athletics history across the board. Magical moment when Southern upset Georgia Tech. That was a magical moment. All of the eyes of the country was watching, saying, ain't no way. Who is Southern? Ain't no way Southern is going to beat Georgia Tech. A magical moment that still lives on today when Southern became the first HBCU team to win a regional game when they upset Cal State Fullerton in 1987. That's a magical moment because it still lives on to this day. I'll give you a magical moment. It happened anytime for me is magical when Southern beats LSU in baseball. We did it last year at LSU. I can remember the year when Coach Carrick Jackson was the coach. We beat LSU. I think they were ranked in the top 10 at the time, and they came over to Lee Hines Field. Southern beat them. But the issue with it was all eyes wasn't on that game. If you were there, you felt it. If you were there, you felt it. If you wasn't there, you kind of missed it. And then you saw it on the news. And, of course, you know the local news not going to give it the magic that Southern's would want. They're going to say more so it was LSU lost than it was Southern's win. That's what the local news is going to do. So they're for sure not going to feed into the mystique of the magical moment. Like, hey, the Jaguars pulled it out. It's like, yeah, LSU lost today. They're going to take that moment away because at the end of the day, we already know what their first priority is, right? It's going to be to maintain order with the LSU fan base. And, yeah, congratulations, Southern. But I'm just speaking about those magical moments, man. When the lights are bright, when everybody's watching, and when you have that opportunity to go out and captivate and just reel in that new fan or somebody who may not have been a fan of the program, and they just say, wow. Social media is in a frenzy for the next couple days. People can't stop talking about it. A magical moment was what happened when that plantation home burned down over there in White Castle. It was everywhere. That became a magical moment for a lot of people. On the other side, we need these moments in terms of athletics that it goes beyond just the win, but then we hype it up and we talk about it and we tell it. Like, dude, I still can't believe we won that game. And a big game, something on the line, championships, because isn't that what we've been talking about? Soccer won a championship last year, but how many of you guys are going to soccer games? Women's basketball won a championship. How many of y'all was going to the women's basketball games on Thursday nights and not the Saturday night? I'll leave that right there. We'll come back to that. Let's get ready to take a break. You guys stay tuned. We'll be back more of the Jaguar Journal.
It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
T.R. Ricks is a fifth-year senior who's getting his first chance to drive the train that Bob talked about. And right now, he's driving it quite well because the Southern Jaguars are kicking butt in the SWAC conference. As Bob mentioned, 6-0 overall in the SWAC, and T.R. Ricks has played so well, over 2,000 yards passing. In the last 3 games running the football, he's been over 100 yards on the ground. The respect factor that he gets from his teammates is incredible. As a fifth-year senior who's never started, they elected him captain. and the numbers he has put up are represented on your screen. 27 total touchdowns on the offense, a pass percentage of nearly 60%. He could be the SWAC Player of the Year on the offensive side.
Best, and they're going to get a huge dose of the best offensive player in the SWAC, and that being Thomas Ricks.
Yeah, what Thomas Ricks has found a way to do is just beat defenses either with his arm, with his feet, or with his leadership capabilities, finding a way to win the games late with fourth quarter comebacks. He showed versatility and athleticism. He's a tremendous athlete that knows how to win, most importantly.
He really is a leader both on and off the field.
I just think it has come to a maturity level. I have a 4-year-old son, and, when he was born, I had to grow up fast, and, just staying in school and practicing every day, trying to get better every day, just so he can have a better future. It's just been my inspiration. So, I just think that's my motor that drives me and, keeps me in the game.
His 4-year-old son, Collier, has not missed a game this season. They throw the football around in Rick's dorm room at Southern, and he says it's great playing football with Collier. 1st and 10. Ricks. He's got Vernon. Vernon makes the catch at the 45.
They can run the entire offense with all those guys in the game.
Ricks to Vernon. 1st down. Holmes in the backfield. Ricks. 1st down. Gage on the tackle, but not until Ricks picks up the 1st down. 2nd and 7. Ricks. Overstreet's got it. Across midfield. Ricks has a receiver downfield. It's caught for a touchdown. Territory. Ricks fakes the pitch. Gets inside the 15.
He's in the type of young men that represent his philosophy in life and in football.
Ricks in a shotgun. He's going to run it out to the 10. And 2nd and 11 after the holding penalty. Sidearm toss.
All right, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning, everybody. I'm Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. Everybody listening across the Baton Rouge capital city area on Talk 107.3 FM, and everybody listening across the country on our YouTube and Facebook channel. Glad to have you guys with us as you're listening live here. Be sure to communicate with us in the comment sections. Let us know if you're dealing with any technical difficulties on your side of listening to the show, and be sure to call in if anybody wants to chime in into any of the conversations. 225-499-1073 is the number. And as we get the show going today, want to welcome a very special guest here to the show. He is the 20th National President of the Southern University Alumni Federation. Want to welcome to the show Carlton Jones Jr. Good morning, Carlton.
Good morning, brother Perry. How you doing, man? You're taking us back. You kind of giving us a little lashing this morning on how to make Southern better.
Man, sometimes you have to have that walk down memory lane when you have conversations of what it was, where we at, and where we going. Sometimes we know things don't last forever, but when things do reach that peak and it start to trickle down a little bit, it's like, all right, where do we go to get that bounce back again? And that's all I'm looking at. We had those magical moments. Wouldn't you say the 90s were magical?
Man, that's what I grew up at. So I was the opposite of you. I didn't have a choice, man. And my dad didn't even go to Southern. I mean, my parents didn't go to college. They didn't go to Southern. But that's what they wanted. They thought, hey, if I get you to Southern, everything's going to be all right. That was the feeling. It was, hey, I'm going to get you to Southern. They're going to take care of you. You're going to be all right. And then also, winning covers a lot. When you're winning, everything works out well. Everything's good. You're all having a good time when you're winning. And that's one of the things that could be missing today.
Yeah, I think so. Let's get on track right here talking about the Southern University Alumni Federation upcoming events. What's going on, man? I've been seeing it all over the internet. You guys have a big platform that's about to be ahead up in Shreveport.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you've been seeing a lot because we've tried to grow during this time here. We added a new communication young lady, Anasia Muhammad, and she's been on the ball getting communications out for us, Facebook and email. So I just want to give her a shout out for the work she's been doing. But you're right. We'll be in Shreveport next week. You're talking about alumni and how we can get engaged. This is going to be the number one place. Next Wednesday, June 25th through the Sunday, the 28th, we're going to be in Shreveport, Louisiana. We got Congressman Fields going to be there. Senator Sam Jenkins is going to be there. Of course, we're going to have Dr. Arbor Gant, the chancellor in Shreveport. She's doing a great job of hosting us that weekend. We need to educate our alumni on how they can grow the university. I think this will be an awesome time to communicate, educate, fellowship with our fellow alumni.
What's in store? What are people, if they want to be a part of this, what are they in store for?
Oh, no, they're going to get a lot. You're going to hear from not only Dr. Gant with the local Shreveport area, you're going to get campus tours. You're going to get to see and understand ways that you can help the Shreveport campus. These past 3 years, what we focus on is a different campus every year. Remember, 2 years ago, we were in New Orleans. Last year, we were in Baton Rouge. And this year, we want to focus on the Shreveport campus and try to get alumni an opportunity to see firsthand what some of the challenges are, how they can help. Additionally, we've got chapters nationwide, and we've got chapter leadership, volunteers that are trying to help recreate that old 90s spirit, and they need a refresher every now and then on some of the strategies, ideas, and tools in order to help their local alumni build and get back to Southern.
As we talk about building this, give me some chapters from around the country, because we have listeners from all across the country that are listening that may not even know there's chapters in their area. And as we try to engage people and get them informed of what's going on at Southern, I do what I can here at the Jaguar Journal in terms of our live on YouTube and Facebook. But then we're talking about the business at hand, and the business at hand a lot of times work with these chapters when it comes to scholarships and everything else that they're able to do within those certain areas to be able to continue to reach a Southern university across the nation. What are some of those chapters out there?
Here, we got chapters. I think we have 60-plus chapters on the books nationwide. And some of our larger ones, of course, are in Dallas, Houston, Los Angeles, Atlanta, D.C. We've got chapters out there. And to your point, they give out scholarships too. It's not just Alumni Federation. Our chapters get out scholarships. I think the Houston chapter is on track to give out close to $40,000 at their scholarship event later this month. They're getting ready to do it for the fall semester. So our chapter's doing a great job of also reuniting, connecting with alumni in the area and sparking that interest. You talk about those miracle moments, at least that miracle fellowship moments with students and young kids to come to Southern University. They're the ones with boots on the ground that get a first-hand opportunity to tell those stories of how they had an experience at Southern University and how they're looking forward to assisting them to matriculate to Southern as well.
Now, you talk about those big chapters. Come on, man. Everybody ain't in them big cities. Give me some of those small chapters, some of those chapters, where – because I just got a call. I know Little Rock in Arkansas, they're trying to get a chapter going right now in Central Arkansas, and they called to say, hey, when you graduate, did you move back? I said, no, I'm still in Louisiana, but you know what? I'll become a member of that chapter because I know what you guys are trying to get off the ground. But some of those smaller chapters who often get overlooked because you talk about the Chicagos, the LAs, the DC, the Houstons, the Dallas.
Yeah. Well, let's start it. Birmingham has a chapter. We got one in Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina has a chapter. Columbus, Ohio. They have some alumni that are out there trying to do some great work. Cincinnati, greater Cincinnati area, has a chapter in that area. St. Louis. Hampton Roads, Virginia. I don't know everybody where Hampton Roads, Virginia is, but they've got a chapter. We got Indiana. Indiana has a chapter. Mobile, of course, they've got a chapter. We got Memphis, Tennessee, always do a great job sending students to Southern. Seattle, we got some chapter in Seattle. Chapter President Georgette is out there doing a great job. Sacramento, Treasure Coast, Florida has a chapter. So we've got chapters all over the nation, not just our big cities, that are doing a great job of trying to get alumni back here. We do a good job of educating them, Perry. They go out there to get that degree and they do something with it.
I got a question. This comes from off our comment section on our YouTube. Someone asked, what's the status of the Alumni Center development and how can alumni donate to that project? Any updates for us on that?
So last year at the conference in Baton Rouge, I presented and I showed some renderings of some new drawings for it. And there's two things to that, and I'm glad he brought that up, and I'll talk about it more at the summit. But student housing is a critical issue on campus right now. It's a tough issue right now. We got kids, and if they're out there now, start getting ready for housing because there is a shortage or a challenge of sitting every kid on campus. And the alumni have an opportunity to engage that. We've got property on the corner on campus as a prime location to get built. In the last couple of years, a couple of things we've done. We've hired a project manager to help us through this process. Additionally, we've got drawings, did environmental studies, Volta area, and trying to get the dollars to get it built. Long story short, we're at a kind of like a silent fundraising phase to get it built. It is not going to be cheap. We're talking, $40 million plus to get the project done. So last year I revealed drawings and renderings of what we're trying to get done. And if you come to the summit, maybe we could share those with you. We've got drawings and renderings of what we're trying to get done. Right now we're in the funding phase trying to get it funded. So we're silently meeting with developers, fundraisers nationally trying to get the dollars for it. But it's a large vision. It's a large investment. It's going to take a long time. Being in this business, I understand it takes a little while to get developed. But we are working on it. Right now, we're in the kind of silent fundraising phase, meeting with developers and donors.
Overall, we look at the state and the status of the Alumni Federation. Where are we currently sitting here in June 2025? Looking in the past and where we're going in the future, where are we currently in terms of the status of the Southern University Alumni Federation when you look at membership? Are our numbers right now at a high level, or are we seeing the numbers kind of dip a little bit? Is giving and donating high right now? Or are we starting to see it kind of go in the opposite direction? Where are we in terms, honestly, of the Alumni Federation currently?
Membership always going up. That's one interesting fact. We're graduating hundreds of students every year, so the membership always goes up. And also, as soon as you graduate, you automatically become a member. So we gain hundreds of new members every year in the Alumni Federation. So that's one interesting fact. We continue to grow. I think one of the things that we focus on in my time here is diversifying. I know membership is always a big deal, but we've got to diversify how we bring dollars and how we use them. One of the things we worked on that is affinity agreements. We've got an agreement with Pelican State Federal Credit Union that brings in dollars when you get an SU alumni card or a card with the SU's logo on it. Every time you swipe it, dollars come back to us. We started that program, I think, last fall, and currently about couple thousand cards and $10,000 plus just for that short time frame. So that's one other aspect. Also, the Alumni Center, once we get that going, those projects and dollars, housing and programs there are going to be one of our key assets. So not only membership is pivotal, but we've got to develop a strategy of not just of alternate sources of income. And that's kind of been one of my goals. Affinity agreements, our Alumni Center, student housing. Don't forget, we have our parking spot, the RV space, while we're waiting for the Alumni Center to get built. That's been informative for us. That's been lucrative for us. So I'm trying to diversify our income outside of just the membership. But membership is fine. Membership always going up. I think our alumni are really just, to your point, just trying to figure out how to get engaged. How can they help out Southern University? And they can do that by joining a local chapter or following us at sualumni.org.
Yeah, because I'm always interested in having an honest conversation when I look around. Are our alums truly engaging with us? Are they caring about the business at hand at Southern? When it comes to leaderships and national conferences, are the alums out there truly saying, hey, we're going to this? Hey, inform me. Hey, what can I do to be a part of? Because if not, then that lets me know we got to work harder. We got to do more because there are thousands of alums out there. And in the past, I know when I'm around, you typically see the same faces. You see the same people that's around. How do we change where we get new faces? And that's that magical stuff that I'm talking about, even with athletics, where you bring people in. Yes, we graduate thousands of people every year, but how do we engage those thousands of people once they do become a part of the Alumni Federation and then keep them excited and keep them informed and have them saying, I'm giving. I want to be a part. I want to run for an office. I want to do all of these things to be this next version of the Alumni Federation to help it continue into the future. You know what I mean?
Right. It's a tough dynamic. A couple of things, I did a leadership academy we've got going on where we try to educate alumni on just what you talked about, exposing them to the different parts of the university, the federation, and how they can engage the university. So educating them is key, and we've got a program for that. And then also, we've got to do a better job of, and I say communicating. I find we have alumni of all ages, to your point, and communicating with them varies for all ages. Some of them need a phone call, some of them need a text, some of them need an Instagram message. It varies so greatly that it's kind of tough for one medium to touch all of them. So to your point, it's a challenge to get in touch with everyone out there. And I think that's probably the work that needs to continue to grow. How do we communicate to our alumni and these different meetings because they're all over the place. They're everywhere. And when you talk to them, they're ready to help. Hey, just tell me what to do. And I want to get engaged. How do I do that? So I think that's still a bit of a challenge on how to communicate and get them engaged.
Hey, Carson, you got a second? I got to take a break, but if you can hold on, we come back on the other side and we'll give the information for the Southern University Leadership Conference coming up one more time. So you guys, you can hold on with me?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get ready to take a break. We'll pay a couple bills, and we'll be back, everybody. Stay tuned more to the Jaguar Journal.
It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
Talk about offense, we talk about Southern, and it begins with their passing game.
Tom, beyond potent, we're talking about high octane, we're talking about fast break, we're talking about 41 points a game, some 500-plus yards since Terrence Levy has taken over this offense.
Because that young man doesn't drop any ball.
With the legacy that you started here, you got to feel happy to see it continue on with Doug Williams.
Ball now back at the 22-yard line. Levy, no pressure at all. Touchdown, Ingram. The Bayou Classic. Levy on a first and goal play. Throws a touchdown. Grambling comes with a blitz. Levy steps in the pocket. And his pass is caught. One-handed grab.
Sort of in the middle of the road of the SWAC, but immediately they jump on the Jackson State defense. And here's Levy rolling out. And the pass is caught. Ball is at the 31-yard line. Again throwing the football downfield. Oh, and his receiver Hayes makes the catch. See you later. Touchdown, Southern. If you're going to get, I got some free tickets. Look out for it, brother. Going downfield. Oh, and what a play by Southern.
Score. He's played a lot tougher ever since. And this is a free play for Southern.
2nd and 15.
It's a free play.
Levy completes his
It's
pass.
a free play.
Oh, and he's still up.
It's a free play.
Hayes is going to continue running inside the 10, the 5. Unbelievable, Michael Hayes. 3rd down. And 23 for a first. Levy over the middle. Nice pass that time. 2nd and 20. Levy doesn't have to get it all, but he's going to have to pick up some yards. Here he is throwing, nice catch made.
The receiver, Michael Hayes. There he goes.
Hayes makes the catch. Hayes still on his feet. Hayes looking for blocking. Hayes trying to find a hole. Hayes is still on his feet. He alley-oops. He's inside the 15 and drawn out a foul.
Touchdown.
Backfield. Plenty of time for Levy across the middle. Has his man at the 15. I don't know if you want to break the spirit of Terrence Levy or not. Here he wings one wide open down the middle and a one-handed grab made.
The way. 3rd down and 4. And here's Lewis off the catch. Lewis still on his feet. And Lewis is streaking down the sideline. Touchdown. So they move back 5 yards.
All right, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning, everybody. Glad to have you guys back with us. I'm Perry White. Everybody listening on Talk 107.3 across the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody listening across the nation on our YouTube and Facebook Live. Glad to have you guys with us. Have the Southern University National Alumni Federation president with us this morning, Carlton B. Jones. Good morning, Carlton.
Good morning. Good morning, Perry.
All right, let's talk about it. Let's get the people information. We want to make, I do my best every week to make sure I engage people and get them the most information that they can get to be a part, because one thing I don't like is people standing on the sideline and not being a part of doing their part. So for people that's out there on the sideline that want to do their part and be a part of the conversations at hand, the National Alumni Federation will be hosting the Leadership Conference. The Leadership Conference will be in Shreveport. Give us the dates, the times, and the information for anybody that's out there to go be a part of this thing.
I like how they say it on look. Say it and forever be broke. We're gonna say it for the end of it. It starts Wednesday, June 25th through Sunday, June 28th in Shreveport, Louisiana. We're going to host it. The host hotel will be the Sam's Club in Shreveport. Most of the services and programs are going to be on campus. You can register at www.southernuniversityalumnifederation.org. If you got any questions, you can contact our office, our Executive Director, Darren Dixon, 225-771-4200, or you may reach our illustrious secretary, Ms. Glenda Rutledge, and as well, and she can tell you more. Come on, hey, we got time from old to new, Perry. You're laughing over what?
Well, I like you know, Miss Rutledge. That's the homie right there. And I say homie, no, that's really not the homie. That is like you just said. There's levels to this, and she's like when you playing the video game. That's the top level right there. You got to get through her.
Come on, man. That's I never beat Mario 1. That's the weirdest thing. I never could beat Mario 1. When you get to it's hard, and you're right. That's another level. Sometimes some levels you just give up on. Just go trade Mario 2 or something. Try a different game.
Now, also to include in this, we have some new officers on the national level, correct?
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about that.
So Charlissa Laws was our financial secretary. She's now our second VP of membership. And then we also have a new parliamentarian, Dennis Frazier. He's the past president of the Houston chapter. So Dennis is on. Everyone else still remains the same on the board. You know, Courtney, our first VP, does support the Southern Night campaign. Go out now. Go get your supporting our Southern Night ticket badge. We got that program getting our scholarships. I think we're hosting the law school this year, doing a lot for them this year for the Southern Night. Membership's doing good. We got Charlissa on that. Eldred Jackson, our third VP, he's really being on top of this housing locally. He's done a really good job of bringing accountability and bringing a little voice to the issue with student housing. I know alumni play a role in that, but being on this side, democracy is a slow wheel, Perry. It just takes time to identify a problem. You have to come up with a plan, then you have to convince everybody to go with the plan, and then you have to execute. So that's a tough task, but I'm an old school Jaguar, grew up through the 90s, like you said, and I just love Southern through and through. So I didn't even apply anywhere else. I just applied to Southern. I was one of those ones that I just know I'm going up here. Might as well get ready. Just took all my summer programs. Everything was at Southern. So,
I know I'm getting old because we referring to the 90s as old school now, Carlton.
Man, well, I know I'm getting old when they graduate. Were born after I graduated. Like, wow, wait a minute. Like, wait, congratulations. Wait, you were born when? 2000 what? You know, wait a minute. Wait, that doesn't add up. So I got to accept it. But to your point earlier, we've got we were kind of spoiled. And you show up on campus, everything looked great, but we don't talk about the people that made it great. And we've got to transition, and that's a challenge. You got to transition to showing up and being catered to and showing up to cater. And I think, to your point, getting engaged with alumni is a large part of that. And, it's time to get to the point, there's a certain point, hey, let's get in. How can I recreate those magical moments for somebody else you have? And that's the challenge that we're having right now.
Yep, that is it, man. And that's the magical moment is what brought me to Southern. Had no ties, and I tell people all the time, it was the magical moment that brought me in, and it made me a Southern fan. And I said, I'm going to school there. That's what it was. I didn't grow up around Southern. I didn't go to Southern games. I'm not even from Louisiana. Didn't know anything about the place. But that brought me here. And because I know that worked on me, I know it's plenty of people out there that it works on continuously to this day. Right now, the band still carries that torch. A lot of young people especially love what the band brings, and when they get that opportunity to see it, because it's one thing to watch it on YouTube. It's another thing when it's in front of you. You get to hear the sound and how powerful it is in person. But it is those moments that creates the new fans, and that's what we have to worry about, because students are customers. Right. Every student is in legacy. Everybody don't know about Southern. Some people find out about Southern at the last minute. Some people find out about Southern the year before they go here. Some people have known about Southern since they were born. Some people was made on Southern's campus, okay? Let's just
right.
But at the end of the day, we have to be able to continue to go out and find the new, because out there, everybody don't know about HBCUs in America. And we'd be surprised how many people look like us and be so clueless to an HBCU and to who Southern is and what these schools are. They just simply don't know. So we have to go out there and create these moments where we can continue to reel in that new customer, that new student, that new fan. Like you said, your parents didn't even go to Southern, but something about Southern drew them over there to be Southern fans, wasn't it?
We got to carry ourselves, too. I tell when I explain it and speak to alumni, carry yourself well. When you're in an office place, we're visiting, you're going to the store, whatever, you got that S on your chest. You have a smile, a special moment. We got to carry ourselves, too, and carry the brand publicly where when we go out and advocating for Southern University. That goes a long way, too, for the people who didn't go. What's going to draw them in? And, I was trying to come up with a moment myself, and it was kind of tough. Other than the band, you're right. It's kind of tough to come up with a moment for someone who didn't go to Southern. I'm easy. Like the LSU wins, the Prairie View win last year, that's easy. But that's a big deal for us who are watching it. But if you have no clue, how do you draw them in to university? And, again, that's just another challenge, communicating that and getting the word out.
And when I go places, what I do is I like to brag, and people be like, oh, Southern must be this and be that. I talk Southern up. You'll swear it's on top of the mountain. That's how I do when I go places. I make you feel like you missing out if you ain't come to Southern, if you ain't come to a game, if you didn't do these other things. But, Carlton, man, I appreciate you coming on this morning, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, thank you for everything, and good luck to you guys with the leadership conference.
No, thank you, Perry. Appreciate you, man, using your voice and your platform to help us out, man. I really appreciate it.
All right. That's the voice of Carlton Jones, Jr. He is the National Alumni President for the Southern University Alumni Federation. Let's get ready to take a break. Come back on the other side. We'll be at the top of the hour. Stay tuned more to Jaguar Journal.
Quarter with Jackson State leading 10-3. Ball is at the 31-yard line. Again, throwing the football downfield. Oh, his receiver Hayes makes the catch. See you later. Touchdown, Southern. And every time you think Southern struggles, they come back, they make a play. They've done it all year long. Kick is up. Kick is good. Second down and a yard to go. Again, they give it to Lewis. Lewis finds room. Lewis still on his feet. Lewis making a move to the outside. He's inside the 25, the 10, the 5. What a run by Ryan Lewis. 69-yard run for Ryan Lewis. And how about this? Kicks up, kicks good. Halftime, George Johnson along with Charles Mann. Southern trailed in this football game 10-7. Then they reel off 14 straight points, and they do it with the big plays.
And that's something that we didn't think would happen, at least from Southern's perspective. They've been able to methodically go down the field on people and win ball games, not the big plays. You saw the big play by Ryan Lewis running 69 yards, the nice throw by Terrence Levy. This is something that I don't think Jackson State thought they would see in Southern either, and they go into halftime down by 7 points.
Jackson State came in the best defense out of the SWAC. And if you take a look at the highlights, you will see that this club, and I'm talking about Southern, was really able to capitalize on a couple of miscues, and the big plays are the result of it.
And this is Daniel Guy with a nice stiff arm to Bradley Pittman there. And he runs that ball 36 yards inside for a touchdown and makes it 7-3. And then Terrence Levy, quarterbacking, throws a big bomb to Michael Hayes, who gets by Rashard Anderson and waltzes into the end zone for a 69-yard reception. And then the big run by Ryan Lewis, a scat back for Southern, races 69 yards for the score. And that's where it stands right now, 17-10. Southern is on top.
Passing leaders in the conference, Lionel Hayes from Grambling, your top passer. Washington second, but he's intercepted right there. This time the inside handoff,
and the ball was dropped, and Tommy Head.
Here's Taylor in the pocket, looking downfield and looking for Leroy Fields, and this one looks intercepted, and it is.
He's played a lot tougher ever since. And this is a free play for Southern.
2nd and 15.
It's a free play.
Levy completes his
It's
pass.
a free play.
Oh, and he's still up.
It's a free play.
Hayes is going to continue running inside the 10, the 5. Unbelievable Michael Hayes. Hayes now with 187 yards receiving. 169-yard touchdown, 181-yard touchdown.
And Southern's came up with all the big plays.
They lead by 14. And that one is intercepted by Darden. Darden looking for some room.
All right, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning, everybody. I'm Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us, man. Very good show this morning. We just had Carlton Jones, national president of the National Alumni Federation, talk to us about the upcoming leadership conference up in Shreveport. And now, what I'm talking about, magical moments, captivating, bringing in students and creating new fans. This is the Southern University Marching Band, and this week, they'll be actually hosting the Southern University High School Summer Band Camp. And nobody better than to talk about it than my man, Dr. Kedrick Taylor. Good morning, Dr. Taylor.
Good morning, Dr. Perry White. I'm about to say Dr. Perry White. Good morning. How's it going? Hey, man, am I speaking something in your future?
What you say?
Am I speaking something in your future?
Maybe so. I thought I gave up on school, but maybe Southern will honor me, when they give you those honorary doctrine. I'll take that. I take one, they just bring me across the stage and I got my towels and I shake hands and take pictures. I appreciate that though.
Man.
One day I want to be a band director, man. I just want to get up there and I want to get the crowd. I want to turn. I want to have my hat low. And when that band hit that first note and I look over my shoulder to see if that other band made sure they felt that note. I want to see what that's like.
Hey, you've had your share of getting the crowd hyped.
I love it, man. I love it. Let's talk about, I talked about magical moments here on the show today and, creating those magical moments that people walk away and they talk about for years to come. It creates new fans. It motivates people who may not have known about Southern say, I want to go to Southern. You guys see this year in and year out with Southern University's marching band on the collegiate side because you get a chance to travel the country, travel the world, and show people who Southern is who may not have otherwise known about the university. And you do it in a unique way in which the band brings people closer to it. Now, with that is the Southern University High School Summer Band Camp. This gives students who may not have never even seen Southern in person or step foot on the campus, but are motivated to just say, I want to go be and see what this is like. This is what this is all about, correct?
That's very correct, and I couldn't have put it any better. The students that come to this camp, majority of those students come to Southern University. They start coming like 8th grade. I'm going to give you a full circle moment. One of the students ended up going to another school, and he was like, I should have came to Southern in the beginning. So this fall, he coming to Southern University based on the fact he came to camp and he knew what the experience was, and he went to one of our rival schools, top rivals. And, just to speak to what we do at Southern University is very unique, and you can't duplicate it. A lot of people are imitating what we do at Southern University. We were one of the first ones to have a band camp. We've been doing this camp since 1996. So our camp has been going on for many, many years. And if you notice, it's grown over the years, which is also our band has grown. So that means we are doing something right. And I want to commend our team at Southern University, our administration, for allowing us to continue to do the camp, because it takes a group effort to pull something off like this. And we have over 500 and some students coming to the campus this week.
That is amazing, because it shows the power of what this band does, because let's be honest, a lot of these students may not even end up being in the band at Southern, but they may end up coming to Southern just because of the experience.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I mean, you got to think about it. Most of these students are not used to the way we do band. And I say the way we do band is like, we take this serious. Students come to this camp and they realize, man, these people take this serious. Like it's a wake up call for a lot of students, and even for myself. Coming from Mobile, when I came to Southern University, my brother was already here, but he didn't tell me what was going on. So I just thought the band was a well-oiled machine, but I see why it was a well-oiled machine. The way the band trained, the focus on being intentional about getting things right,
it speaks volume as to why the band is so good and has been good for many years. It's the blueprint that has been put in place, and it's like we just following that blueprint and continuing to be innovative and creative to continue to add to the legacy of the Southern University Human Jukebox.
Let me ask you this: for young people who will be coming into town and who have signed up over 500 kids to be at this Southern University Summer High School Band and Dance Camp, what can they expect this week?
Oh, that's an amazing question. They can definitely expect to get the things that they haven't been accustomed to from their own high school. And when I say that with it's very unique on how we do things. We don't waste time. I don't believe in just wasting time, so we get straight to the point. We're gonna make sure the students learn all the basic fundamentals. So it's just like sports. You know how you run drills for wide receivers and quarterbacks do their drills, and then all of a sudden you bring it all together.
Mm-hmm.
So every section going to have their own drills. We do drills for every section that we keep working those skills every day. And ultimately, that's how they learn the songs, which when you learn your drills, you know the routes to run. They tell you what route to run, and it comes together. Everybody put their routes together, and it forms a play.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we make music. So we're going to teach those students that process throughout the week, and that's how we end up doing the showcase at the end of the week. We do those fundamentals all week, which leads to us learning songs, and that's even with the marching as well. So it's unique for music because you have to learn music, memorize it, and you got to learn steps like marching techniques. It's a proper way that you know how to march, so they're going to learn the proper skills to march. So we're going to teach them exactly how to march. And nowadays, if you really pay attention, a lot of high school bands not doing field shows.
No.
So we're looking at bringing that back to the Bluff as well. So that's something that's coming forward. We're going to bring a huge high school ballad band to Mumford Stadium, and we already been in plans of working on it to bring all the top high school bands in the country on our campus, so these students can see the importance of still putting on shows. The fans in the stands want to see you put on shows because half the songs they play in the stands we don't know. I'm gonna say we because I guess I'm getting to that age group where I'm like, what is that? So we definitely like seeing field shows. So we want to encourage the students to continue to do shows because when they come to college, it's a culture shock when they have to learn to march. One of the kids came to camp last year. He said, "Man, Dr. Taylor, I marched more this week than I did my whole year, my band." So we definitely put the students to work. It's band camp. We want them to enjoy, but also get their money's worth. We want to make sure that that they get the experience and exposure. I've learned in life, the more experience and things that you're exposed to, the more you become better as a person. You become better as an individual because it's not just about the skill, but it's about building life-learned skills. Being on time, learning discipline and self-discipline, and how to work with other people, because you're going to always have to work with other people when you're dealing with organizations, whether you own your own business. No matter what you do, you're going to always have to work with other people. So we teach all those skills as well.
Yeah, I can recall. I remember the first time I came around and saw the band, the summer band and dance camp, and I know I'm getting a little older because I've seen kids come through that program and they done went through 4 years of Southern's band and graduated and went on in life. But being around, watching these young people, right, within this short span of a week, how much they learn. But I know by the time the end of the week, they're wore out. But they take what they learn and they can take that back home. And now they are the leaders within their bands because they bring something to the table that otherwise may have been missing from their band. Maybe they take the marching serious when they go back amongst their bandmates. Maybe they take the instrument, the playing of the instrument a lot more serious, the sectionals and all of these other things. The discipline is most of all I think out of all of it, learning discipline, learning to be quiet, because you got 500 kids in a band hall and 30 of them talking to disrupt and throw off the whole balance of everything.
Man, I can't teach you noise. I can't do it. So, yeah, they definitely have to learn to be disciplined. A lot of students learn early on that students like structure. They like organization. They might not tell you they like it, but they really like it. And my motto has always been, hate me now, but love me later. And I keep that mindset because I want them to know I'm not going to be your friend. I'm going to be your leader. I'm going to be your mentor. I'm going to be the person that's going to tell you the truth, the person that's going to help you grow. You never want to be somewhere where you don't grow. And students come to our camp because they grow within that time span. They don't even want to leave when Friday comes. Like in the beginning, you have those students that like, oh man, this is a lot. Y'all, this is a lot. But by Friday, it's like, all right, now it's time for y'all to go home. It's like they don't want to leave. Every year it's the same thing. But they love the fact that you care. They love the fact that you're not letting them just do enough to get by. And that is what ultimately means the most to us, because we're able to pour into these young people and they'll always remember it. So when they do go other places, what you think they're going to do? They're going to, whatever they learn, they're going to pour that in other people. And that's how we've been losing our young people over time, because as adults, we're not pouring into the students enough. And I always tell people, hey, I work for my students. I don't work for anybody else but the students, because without the students, we don't have a job. So our job is to service the people in which we the people that we oversee. So I always say, like, look, we got to continue to pour into the young people. And the more we pour into the young people, guess what's going to happen? You're going to see the world start to get better and better. It's a disconnect between generations because we don't have enough people pouring into our young people. So this camp helped us to do a lot of outreach. We make connections, we make partnerships that turn to relationships, that turn to friendships. And that end up, ultimately, we meet more band directors. A lot of the directors that come to the camp, they aspired to go to Southern University, but they didn't go to Southern University. So guess what? This is a dream come true for them to see their students living out a dream that they once had. Mm-hmm. So it come full circle. So to me, this camp is way bigger than just recruiting students to come to Southern University. It's a life-changing experience.
Let me ask you this before we get ready to end this thing here. Lastly, you guys normally do a showcase at the end of the camp. Will a showcase take place this year?
Yes, sir. It's going to take place this year. Our stadium is being renovated. We're getting some new turf, so we're excited about that. So the showcase won't be in the stadium this year. It'll be on the practice field that we normally practice on behind the stadium. And the showcase starts at 6 o'clock. We taking the old school. That's where the showcase used to happen back in the day. We would do it on the parking lot. So I would definitely tell everyone, get there early so you can get a good spot. But definitely you want to bring you some water and hydrate, because this is supposed to be one of the hottest weeks this summer. So we want to make sure everybody is hydrated and have enough water. And we're going to do that for the students this week. We're going to make sure we keep them hydrated, get them we had someone donate some packs for us, the IV packs, so we want to make sure we keep these students hydrated. I just came from outside working out, and it's already hot, and I was out there at 6 in the morning, so you can imagine, what it's going to be like later on today. So if it's going to be like that all week, the students definitely going to need to be hydrated. So I would definitely tell everyone to hydrate when they come out there on Friday, but definitely come out and enjoy the show. The staff has put together a really, really great presentation for Friday. And so they're excited about the students coming in. They come in tomorrow, and we're going to get started for the week. And we're hoping for the best with the weather, and we hoping for the best that the students all stay healthy so we can continue to raise the bar and continue to teach them the things to make them successful when they go back to their high schools, and hopefully that we get most of them to come back to Southern University.
Well, everybody, that is the voice of the man that makes it all move over at Southern University for the marching band, Dr. Kedrick Taylor. He is the head band director of the world-renowned Southern University Marching Band, also known as the Human Jukebox. Dr. Taylor, thank you for coming on this morning to promote the Southern University High School Summer Band and Dance Camp, man. Over 500 kids are going to be headed to Baton Rouge on this week to take part of seeing what it's like to be a part of the band. They're going to have the showcase, and if you guys out there listening want to go see this showcase, hey, it'll be on what day again, Dr. Taylor?
this Friday, 6 o'clock p.m.
There we go. This Friday, 6 o'clock. Dr. Taylor, thank you for coming on, man.
All right. Thank you so much for having me on.
All right, let's get ready to take a break, everybody. We'll come back on the other side. We're going to talk about the MEAC SWAC Challenge with my man, John Grant. So you guys stay tuned. More to Jaguar Journal.
Quincy Richard is the quarterback. And, Don, this is a man who's really changed his game from last season, and he's a graduate student as well.
Yes, he has, Bob. Quincy Richard has matured into the unquestioned leader of this Southern University offensive attack. 10 wins this season, and he set school marks for passing yards and touchdown passes. And Bobby's had a lot of help. Only 5 sacks on the season.
He earned his undergraduate degree back in August. He's taking some master's classes, and he wants to be a lawyer.
Here's Richard looking in the end zone. Has a man there. Touchdown, Southern University.
Play clock down to 3. Richard gets it off over the middle. Touchdown!
Holmes goes in motion and comes set on a 1st and 10. Richard completes it. That's Ard. Ard down the sideline. He could go. And finally pushed out of bounds. Richard's run for 10 touchdowns this season. He's going to keep it. Richard goes in. Make it 11 for Quincy Richard. Richard wide open. Touchdown, Chris Davis. Oh, does he love playing football even more now?
That in the flag against Grambling, holding on the kickoff.
Richard looking deep, and it's a touchdown.
But only 3 times did he go down. Twice he ran out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. It goes down as a sack.
2nd and 8. The deep ball, and that's our man, Chris Davis, for the touchdown. Time for today's State Farm Players of the Game. And from Southern University, the quarterback, number 15, Quincy Richard, 34 of 42, 552 yards, 5 touchdown passes.
Quincy, on behalf of State Farm Insurance Companies, I want to present you with a trophy for the most outstanding player today. Congratulations.
All right, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning, everybody. I am Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. Everybody listening on Talk 107.3 FM across the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody listening across the country on our YouTube and Facebook Live. Good to have you guys with us. Want to thank Dr. Kedrick Taylor, Director of Bands over at Southern University, for coming on and promoting the Southern University High School Band and Dance Camp taking place this week. They're going to have the showcase at 6 o'clock on Friday. And as we're talking about the band, they're going to be prepared for the first game of the season. And that first game of the season is going to be against North Carolina Central, right? And that game is going to be the MEAC SWAC Challenge over in Atlanta. And nobody better than to talk about it than the executive director of the MEAC SWAC Challenge and the Celebration Bowl, my man, John Grant. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Perry. How are you?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm wonderful, wonderful. Excited for football. Can't you smell it? It's almost in the air, Perry.
Yeah, I smell the pots rolling and the pits barbecuing and all that good stuff, man. Listen, as we get closer, because I'm starting to see the energy ramped up on the MEAC SWAC Challenge social media presence in terms of the page. You guys are really pushing it out there. I know we're getting closer to time. And when you start to talk about a brand like Southern, that's what I was talking about today, about magical moments, being in games where you have the bright lights, everybody's watching, and you find a way with your back up against the wall to get it done. The MEAC SWAC Challenge and the Celebration Bowl both present those type of atmospheres where teams and programs can have magical moments because you have the entire country watching the game.
Well, that's true, Perry. Our slogan is, it starts here and ends here. So this year, Southern and North Carolina Central both have the opportunity to start their season in Atlanta in week 0, and with the goal of ending it in Atlanta with the Celebration Bowl for the national championship. So 2 big stages, 2 of the largest stages in HBCU college football when you look at total live audience and viewership. That's really what it's about.
Looking at the fan base, because, they call it the Jaguar Nation for a reason. You've been around and you've seen it yourself. And I'm hoping, with this, and I know you guys are looking at it, when Southern fans show up, we show out. We break stadium attendance records where we go. We bring a large contingent of fans, and we bring people out. And hopefully the city of Atlanta, because Southern hasn't played a football game there in quite some time, the city of Atlanta and the surrounding areas come out. And for those people that are listening that want to come out and be a part of this, give us some information about tickets. I just saw you guys are doing get 3, get another one with some percentage off and so much other stuff. What is going on with the tickets for fans out there who want to go ahead and purchase them early?
Well, tickets are on sale at MEACSWACchallenge.com. On our website, we're running a promotion right now as a part of the Juneteenth weekend. It's called Me Plus 3, where if you buy 3, you get 25% off the 4th ticket. So it's a great opportunity for fans who are coming in groups to come together and enjoy this start to college football.
And looking at this start to college football, man, the MEAC SWAC Challenge, this game is normally nationally televised. I don't think it's going to be anything less. This year, where is this game going to be nationally televised on?
We're on ABC. August the 23rd at 7:30 p.m. will be the kickoff time. For the 3rd year, we'll be on the ABC network. And the beautiful thing about that, Perry, is for the last 2 years, in both 2023 and 2024, the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge was the 2nd most watched game on that day in week 0. Wow. Second only to in 2023, it was Air Force against Notre Dame in Ireland. And last year, Georgia Tech and Florida State played in Ireland. So with that being the 2nd most watched game, it was the most watched game played on American soil on the Saturday of week 0.
Looking at the MEAC SWAC Challenge, man, the events, are any events that you can give the people, any updates in terms of that week leading up into the game?
Absolutely. We have been working closely with the alumni associations of both universities, along with some things that are happening. We are partnering with the Atlanta HBCU Alumni Alliance and the Atlanta Braves for HBCU night on Thursday at Truist Park. Huge event. They threw a massive party there for the Alumni Alliances. The party is free to attend. And then right after that, people are able to go to the game itself. We on Thursday, as a part of our community give back beyond the field, we have a high school seminar where the Southern recruiting admissions folks are involved, and they'll be there to recruit high school students to attend Southern University along with North Carolina Central. On Friday, both alumni associations are having golf tournaments, and we're helping to promote that because obviously those golf tournaments raise funds for them, scholarship dollars to go back to the university. So we're really pushing that and want people to participate and support both alumni associations. And then there are some activities that are happening, parties that are going to be going on in the city as well, that you pay attention to our website in the next week. You'll see those coming up as well. Our fan experience kicks off at 3 o'clock on Friday. Massive fan experience that we have right outside of Center Park Stadium. We're going to have a band jamboree there where the Human Jukebox will face off against the marching machine from North Carolina Central. for a band jamboree as well as 2 high schools prior to the game. Nice little face-off, and then, of course, that game kicks off at 7:30.
North Carolina Central don't want this smoke, John Grant. They
Well,
don't
they've been
want this
asking for
smoke.
the smoke. They want the smoke, man. You know what? Here, it's like going to a barbecue. People want to see the smoke.
We got in as we get closer, I gotta just tune in to the North Carolina Central people. I want to hear them talk a little trash because trust me, the closer we get, I'm gonna amp the Southern people. As a matter of fact, Jaguar Nation don't need to be amped up. They already know. But you know what? Because I have the voice that's out here, I'm gonna talk my talk as we lead closer to it. I need to find out who the North Carolina Central people are. I may start calling into their shows, messing with them as we lead up to it to try to build this thing up. But as we talk about the football and the band, is this treated like a bowl game when you look at these athletic programs?
Actually, it's a little different than that. This game is more like a business trip. It's the first game of the season, so we know that, and the stage is large. So we really save all of, when you talk about the bowl activities for the Celebration Bowl. The teams will arrive in here either Thursday or Friday. They'll do their walkthroughs. We do have and provide financial education sessions for the student athletes. Truist Bank is a partner with us, and that's something we do both at this game and with the Celebration Bowl. We want to make sure that the student athletes are not just coming to play football, but they're learning something as a part of the experience as well.
And how do you guys take care of the bands? Are the bands taken care of as well?
Absolutely, they do. The bands will come in on Friday. They do their walkthrough. We have a session with them as well. Both teams and bands, we provide gifts, participation gifts for them, so they'll get that as well as we provide meals and the cost of transportation for both. So we do that as well.
Nice. I'm always curious because fans out there always want to know, how are we being treated when we participate in these games and, why do we participate in them? But it's good to give information out there for people to have full understanding on what to look for and what to expect. And then at the end of the day, why we participate in it, how we're treated. And most importantly, I like being on ABC if that's the thing about it. That's when it goes back to that magical moment that I'm talking about. The bright lights with everybody watching across the nation. And for somebody who was out there who may not even know who Southern is, and let's say, we win this game the way I'm anticipating, and it's one of those back and forth, and it's like, wow, that was magical, and people talking about it, ABC, ESPN, everybody's posting. Those are the type of moments that you look for as you continue to market your programs.
And Perry, you're so correct in that. For ESPN and ESPN events, our commitment and our team has been to provide, again, a world-class experience for the student athletes, world-class experience for the fans who attend, and then another world-class experience for the people who watch. When you look at the demographics of our viewership, 70% of the people who watch our game are non-Black. So we have about a 30% African-American viewership. So in that, we also want to educate people. If they're watching the sporting event, our storytelling is about how we can educate people on the value of HBCUs, their importance to our country, who our institutions are producing in terms of talent and that are out there providing leadership around this country. And then the final thing, touching on a point you mentioned earlier, we believe it's extremely important to treat the bands and the band members that I call musician athletes, along with the teams, to a very high experience. So we don't just bring them in and have them perform, et cetera, and not experience the benefits of being a part of an experience this big as well.
I'm looking forward to the game, man. Listen, I want to be a part of whatever y'all got going on this year. If it's Southern, count Perry White in, that I do whatever I need to do because I'm looking forward to it. It's been a while since Southern has had a game in Atlanta. I like the opportunity of taking on North Carolina Central, two programs who have a storied history in terms of, especially on the football side. So I'm looking forward to it, John Grant. man, I appreciate you for coming on and always making time. I know you are a busy guy, and when anytime I can get you on here on the show, man, that is a plus for us and an enjoyment for the listening audience so they can hear from an executive director themselves. It ain't anybody in the marketing department. You get to hear from the head guy himself in terms of what's happening and what's going on. And as we lead up closer and closer to that game, because, look, a snap of a finger is around the corner, and we'll all be headed on the road to Atlanta for the MEAC SWAC Challenge. I want to continue to bring you on, continue to give updates, continue to talk about tickets, and continue to promote this game so our fans and everybody out there can understand why is it important for us to show up and show out over in Atlanta. And if we're not going to make it to Atlanta, let's have watch parties all across the country as we continue to cheer on our Jaguars and watching a great game against North Carolina Central on a major stage like ABC.
Now, I do want you to call Josh and his group over there, because he's a North Carolina Central alum.
Josh Sims?
And Josh Sims is a Central alum, and make sure you hit him up on his show. And because that's where the trash talk will take place. But
they get a little emotional sometimes. They get a little emotional sometimes. They get.
But you let Josh know that the Jaguar on the way, and I think that this it'll be a great match opportunity for you two guys to banter a little bit.
Put us together too when we all get to Atlanta. Let's do something with Josh and I between the two fan bases where we can do some stuff too. Let's make that happen.
Great idea, and I will take you up on that.
Hey, I'm right here. Let's make it happen because I know he loves his Eagles. I love my Jaguars. We both have listening audience between both of us with our fan bases. Man, we can make something work, and I think that could be marketing and promotion-wise for the game that could be really good, man.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for having me.
All right. That is the voice of John Grant, the executive director of the MEAC SWAC Challenge, as well as the Celebration Bowl. Thank you, John Grant, for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you, buddy.
All right. Let's get ready to take a break, everybody. We'll come back on the other side. We'll continue the Jaguar Journal.
It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
T.R. Ricks is a fifth-year senior who's getting his first chance to drive the train that Bob talked about. And right now, he's driving it quite well because the Southern Jaguars are kicking butt in the SWAC conference. As Bob mentioned, 6-0 overall in the SWAC, and T.R. Ricks has played so well, over 2,000 yards passing. In the last 3 games running the football, he's been over 100 yards on the ground. The respect factor that he gets from his teammates is incredible. As a fifth-year senior who's never started, they elected him captain. And the numbers he has put up are represented on your screen. 27 total touchdowns on the offense, a pass percentage of nearly 60%. He could be the SWAC Player of the Year on the offensive side.
Best, and they're going to get a huge dose of the best offensive player in the SWAC, and that being Thomas Ricks.
Yeah, what Thomas Ricks has found a way to do is just beat defenses either with his arm, with his feet, or with his leadership capabilities, finding a way to win the games late with fourth-quarter comebacks. He showed versatility and athleticism. He's a tremendous athlete that knows how to win, most importantly.
He really is a leader both on and off the field.
I just think it has come to a maturity level. I have a 4-year-old son, and, when he was born, I had to grow up fast and, just staying in school and practicing every day, trying to get better every day, just so he can have a better future. It's just been my inspiration. So, I just think that's my motor that drives me and, keeps me in the game.
His 4-year-old son, Collier, has not missed a game this season. They throw the football around in Rick's dorm room at Southern, and he says it's great playing football with Collier. 1st and 10. Ricks. He's got Vernon. Vernon makes the catch at the 45.
They can run the entire offense with all those guys in the game.
Ricks to Vernon. 1st down. Holmes in the backfield. Ricks. 1st down. Gage on the tackle, but not until Ricks picks up the 1st down. 2nd and 7. Ricks. Overstreet's got it. Across midfield. Ricks has a receiver downfield. It's caught for a touchdown. Territory. Ricks fakes the pitch. Gets inside the 15.
He's the type of young men that represent his philosophy in life and in football.
Ricks in a shotgun. He's going to run it out to the 10 and second.
All right, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning, everybody. I am Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us, man. And guess what? As we continue to rock and roll today, man, I want to thank everybody who has been tuning in and paying attention, man. And first of all, look, thank everybody out there listening on the radio on Talk 107.3 FM across the Baton Rouge capital city area. And everybody listening and watching on our YouTube and Facebook. As always, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please go subscribe to it. It costs you nothing. And like and follow the Jaguar Journal across X, Instagram, Facebook, as we're also on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. Let's go to the phone lines right quick. Let's see who we got. Good morning. Welcome to the Jaguar Journal. Who do we have?
This is CJ Perry. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, CJ, man.
Going on.
Thank you. How you doing?
Yeah. Well, I'm doing great. I just wanted to talk about the open house we have at B&G Supply Company on 440 North Foster Drive. We just started this business about 6 months ago, and we're having our open house today for everyone to come and see what we are doing. So I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to do that. And Perry, you got a good show going. I was glad to hear the president of the SU system speak, and I think that's going to be a great occasion next week up there in Shreveport. We got a lot of projects going on campus right now, and as I was saying, it would be great if someone would come on and talk about what they are and what's coming down the road, because I understand there's quite a few more coming down the road that just haven't started construction yet.
Give us that information, CJ, one more time for the open house today. Give us the information, the address, and what people can come be a part of it.
Yes, sir. We got a new supply company called B&G Supply Company. It's at 440 North Foster Drive, Suite B, ground floor. And it's a company I started 6 months ago. Things that I was having trouble getting, I went and just bought a company and put them in there. And now I don't have that much trouble getting the products that I need for flooring and all the other things that we cover from that particular area. We have two nice people that's sitting here waiting on to receive you, Ms. Ella Johnson and Mr. Tony Thomas. So they run the shop for me, and I'm hoping it's to be a successful venue down the road.
And CJ, let me ask you this: for anybody that's out there that has a business that are looking to do business with you, what can they expect if they're looking for certain items? What is it that they can get from you guys?
Well, basically, we are a floor caring specialist company, meaning anything to do with taking care of flooring. That's what we do in this store. We have the high-grade wax. We have the high-grade plaster and ceiling and all kinds of things here in the store. That is, we really is a floor specialist, and that's what we cover. We do have other things as well, and what we don't have, all you got to do is tell Miss Ella, and she will get it for you. But I'm trying to keep it down to one section particular, and that is floor covering, and that's what we are doing right now at B&G Supply Company. And one more time, get the people the information for the open house today. Yes, sir. It's at 440 North Foster Drive on the ground floor, Suite B. That's B&G Supply Company. We'll be here till 1 o'clock today. Thank you, CJ, man, and I hope everybody out there listening, if you're looking for that, CJ got it for you. Thank you, sir, and I'll call you back later. Thank you. Yes, sir. All right, let's go to the phone line. We got somebody else on the line. Let's go to the line. Good morning. Welcome to the Jaguar Journal.
Good morning.
Who is this? Who I got on the line this morning?
Good morning. This is Mike calling from Tallahassee. Pierre, I just want to thank you, man, for all the work you do. I first noticed you doing work with off script. And a lot of the things that you do, it actually helps me to continue to enjoy. Like that guy who called in earlier from Monroe. I noticed he be on a lot of different HBCU shows, and I'm actually a graduate of Alabama State. I played up under Coach Reggie Barlow.
Okay.
But I grew up in Quincy, Florida, which is like 15 minutes away from Tallahassee. So I grew up going to FAMU games and Florida State games, and I currently live in Tallahassee. I moved back after graduating from Bama State. And Tallahassee is kind of like a Baton Rouge, where you got Southern, and you got LSU. So growing up, I would go to FAMU and Florida State games. And back then, both of the games used to be packed. You had Bobby Bowden and the Seminoles rolling, and then you had Billy Joe and FAMU rolling tough. You had quarterbacks such as Quinn Gray, Jawan Sider, Pat Bonner, and they used to call the receivers back then the Rat Boys. But I remember watching FAMU play Southern back then, and it just was a good time, man. A lot of the schools, and I heard you talking earlier, you were saying kind of losing the mystique. And I say, yeah, and I think we still have a little bit of it. But I remember those days, man, like the games would be packed, and just the environment, the excitement, even watching BET, some of the games back then. And I noticed when I go on YouTube, I hope everybody listening, go on YouTube sometimes, and I know this just me and probably a few others, I always go look at a lot of the older games. Earlier this week, I was watching Alcorn versus Southern when
You're breaking up a little bit on me, Mike.
Hold on.
You sound a little better.
Hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. But yeah, earlier this week I was watching Southern. It was I always go and watch some of the older games. And earlier this week I was watching Southern and Alcorn.
Mm-hmm.
And when Steve McNair was playing there, and I watched. It ended up giving me both of the games like back to back. So I watched when they played at Southern and when they played at Alcorn, and the crowds was crazy, man. I mean, it was just amazing. And I was just speaking to some of the mystique you were saying that it appears that we losing. And like I said, I grew up going to FAMU games and Florida State, and I just remember those days, man. It were good times, with Quinn Gray, the quarterback, Pat Bonner, quarterback, Jawan Sider, when he was quarterback, and they used to be throwing to the receiver corps.
Yeah, I remember you guys had a really good receiver, Jaquay Nunley.
Yeah, they had Jaquay Nunley, Keenan Lamb. They used to call them the Rat Boys back then. Another receiver named Mitchell. And I just, it was a lot. I loved and enjoyed back then. I don't know if you heard me earlier when I said Tallahassee, kind of like Baton Rouge.
Mm-hmm.
You got LSU and Southern and FAMU and Florida State. And I think you got a good point when you're saying losing the mystique. It is kind of a way, because even when I watched those games with Southern and versus Steve McNair, now maybe because he was getting ready to win, they thought he was going to win the Heisman. But the year before, he wasn't. So, but the crowd, man, Southern had a big crowd at Alcorn. Now, this back in the day. People got to gas up the cars and travel. And just to see the crowd and how, it was so loud, at both of the games. I enjoy watching those games, like in the 90s, going back on, even on YouTube. I do that a lot. And I don't know, how can we get that back, but I love those days, and I still respect Southern. And, with me playing in the SWAC at Bama State, it was a great experience playing. And, Prime did bring some more eyes, but it's almost like it got disrespectful at times because people were saying that they didn't know Southern or JSU until he got to that school. Maybe they were telling the truth, but to me, that seemed like some of them was lying. But, I appreciate everything you do, man. And hey, look, like I say, I'm an Alabama State graduate, grew up watching FAMU, and I be waking up in the morning on Saturday watching the Jaguar Journal, man, because I'm a HBCU fan all the way around.
Man, I appreciate you, man. And look, that's what it's all about. We connecting as a community, and as a community, we come together, we tell our stories, we have our experiences, and at the end of the day, it's one love. On Saturdays, we're going to talk our talk when it comes to the games itself and all the other stuff. But at the end of the day, it take all of us as one community to stick together. And that's what it's all about, man. And I appreciate the support and the love that you're giving here on the show to me and for everybody that's out there listening, because at the end of the day, once again, that's what it's about, man. So I appreciate you for calling in, expressing that to me, man. And thank you for that.
Yes, sir. Salute, Perry. Keep doing your thing, man.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, man. Let's get ready to take a break right quick. When we come back on the side, we're ready to close things out. You guys stay tuned. More of the Jaguar Journal.
It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White. And what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
Talk about offense, we talk about Southern, and it begins with their passing game.
Tom, beyond potent, we're talking about high octane, we're talking about fast break, we're talking about 41 points a game, some 500-plus yards since Terrence Levy has taken over this offense.
Because that young man doesn't drop any ball.
With the legacy that you started here, you got to feel happy to see it continue on with Doug Williams.
Ball now back at the 22-yard line. Levy, no pressure at all. Touchdown, Ingram. The Bayou Classic. Levy on a first and goal play. Throws a touchdown. Grambling comes with a blitz. Levy steps in the pocket. And his pass is caught. One-handed grab.
Sort of in the middle of the road of the SWAC, but immediately they jump on the Jackson State defense. And here's Levy rolling out. And the pass is caught. Ball is at the 31-yard line. Again throwing the football downfield. Oh, and his receiver Hayes makes the catch. See you later. Touchdown, Southern. If you're going to get, I got some free tickets. Look out for it, brother. Going downfield. Oh, and what a play by Southern.
Score. He's played a lot tougher ever since. And this is a free play for Southern.
2nd and 15.
It's a free play.
Levy completes his
It's
pass.
a free play.
Oh, and he's still up.
It's a free play.
Hayes is going to continue running inside the 10, the 5. Unbelievable, Michael Hayes. 3rd down. 23 for a first. Levy over the middle. Nice pass that time. 2nd and 20. Levy doesn't have to get it all, but he's going to have to pick up some yards. Here he is throwing. Nice catch made.
The receiver, Michael Hayes. There he goes.
Hayes makes the catch. Hayes still on his feet. Hayes looking for blocking. Hayes trying to find a hole. Hayes is still on his feet. He alley-oops. He's inside the 15 and drawn out a foul.
Touchdown.
Backfield. Plenty of time for Levy across the middle. Has his man at the 15. You know, I don't know if you want to break the spirit of Terrence Levy or not. Here he wings one wide open down the middle and a one-handed grab made.
The way. 3rd down in 4. And here's Lewis off the catch. Lewis still on his feet. And Lewis is streaking down the sideline. Touchdown. So they move back 5 yards.
All right, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning, everybody. I'm Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us, everybody. Listen on Talk 107.3 FM across the radio waves in the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody listening and watching on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook Live, as well as if you go back and listen to us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and anything, man. Be sure to also follow and like us on X, Instagram, as well as Facebook as we continue to grow. And we are growing, and I'm glad to have you guys to be a part of the growth as we have developed ourselves out of just a Baton Rouge radio show to a national show where people can listen to and watch. And want to thank Michael for calling, because guess what? He's an Alabama State guy over in Tallahassee, but he's listening to the Jaguar Journal. That's what I continue to tell you guys what it's about when you market your brand and market yourself and you continue to grow. You got to have a vision. That's the vision that we had here on the Jaguar Journal in order to make this thing bigger than what it was. The Jaguar Journal's been around for 20-plus years. Do you see how much more we have done with it? Do you see the reach of where it's going now, where this thing is not just a Baton Rouge thing anymore? It ain't a local thing no more. It is a global thing, and it is good that people are paying attention and listening and watching, as every week I tell you, we get people from all over the country and even the world tuning in to watch and listen to what we're talking about here. And what I like about it most of all, for me, is to be able to be the voice to talk to you guys. I don't get on here with the expectation that because Perry said it, you have to take my word and go with it. I have my own opinions on things, and sometimes people agree to disagree, and I'm okay with that. That's the beauty of conversation, and I'm always open with conversation, even the tough conversation. I love the dialogue whenever we can have it to go back and forth, because I'm not here to paint it and make it look beautiful. I'm here to peel the layers back and let's really talk about it, because that's the only way I think you can get honest and true change. And for me, as I started the show today, I talked about that LSU and Arkansas game and how Arkansas had the entire nation sitting there saying, damn, that was a great game, and they found a way to blow it. And LSU did what LSU does. It became a magical moment where people are still talking about that game days later and what that just did for the marketing aspect of that school. And I'm talking about those magical moments because we once used to have those magical moments a lot. That's what gave Southern the lure that it is. It ain't just because the name is Southern. Trust me. And I can tell you that from the outside looking in. It ain't just because it says the name Southern. It was what Southern was doing across the country in games and in events that gravitated people to it. It was creating those magical moments where it's just something about Southern. It's like no matter if they back up against the wall, no matter how much they down, hey, you don't give up on them. They always seem to find a way. That's Southern being Southern. Like, dude, I thought it was over with for y'all, and you found a way. And especially in the biggest moments where the lights are the brightest, everybody's watching. And even the people who don't know who you are watching. And they walk away. They was like, God, dog, hey, that was great. And I can tell you that from experience because I'm one. I didn't grow up in Baton Rouge. I'm not from Louisiana. I don't have any family in the entire state. No lineage to Southern, nobody in my... Matter of fact, when I said I wanted to go to Southern, everybody in my family was, why you want to go down there? Why you want to go to Southern? I'm like, I fell in love with it. I watched the Bayou Classics and seeing Pete Richardson, the 90s, watching Southern win those big games on national television was just, my God. Because Grambling had a name. It's Grambling. It's the G. It's Eddie Wright. It's like there's no way to go against that when you're on a national television. You on the stage for everybody to see. And everybody's already got Grambling picked to win. And then Southern every year under Pete Richardson found a way to get it done on a national stage. That was impactful. And then when I finally had an opportunity to be old enough and go and experienced it in person, not television, and the way that it ended with the entire atmosphere, that was memorable. It was magical. It was something that lived in me, and it creates an excitement. To this day, when I talk about it, I still get excited about it. It's those moments right there that created, which is why we have to take our athletic sports department serious. We just can't say, okay, we just doing it. It was magical. Baseball under Roger Kadar, tell me that wasn't magical to have a Golden Glove winner in Ricky Weeks at Southern. And the way Southern won, come on, man. Tell me you don't remember those magical games in Southern baseball history. In basketball, in track and field. Those are what creates the new fans. And remember, we can't continue to ride on the people that's already here. It's about creating the people who aren't here like me. I wasn't a fan of any of this, but it was because of the moment that made me the fan and ultimately made me a Southern University graduate. It brought me here. And I'm still here because of those magical moments. I didn't have the backing, the support, the love, and the lineage of saying I'm legacy at Southern. Not at all. But that's what creates the new fan. That's what creates the new customer. That new customer is the student. That new customer is the person who didn't even attend a class at Southern, but I'm going to buy season tickets and buy a spot and do this and do that and travel and support, buying apparel. Those magical moments create that. Now, you better believe LSU created that magical moment against LSU, and it all shot up. And I use that in the sense that when it comes to our athletics, We have to get back to creating those magical moments. And when I say those magical moments, when the lights are big, that's why I talk about those non-conference games so much. And people blow away, oh, they don't count. Non-conference to me matters. When you have an opportunity to capture a fan base of another group who typically don't interact with you so much. And you know what our opportunity for a magical moment is? The first game of the season in Atlanta, Georgia on ABC in the MEAC SWAC Challenge against North Carolina Central. That is an opportunity for Southern to make a magical moment because I think we're long overdue for one, where everybody's going to be watching, people are going to be talking about it, and we have an opportunity to create some new fans and bring in some new people to say, I love Southern. I liked everything I saw today. The team won. The band was great. The fans showed up. That's what I'm talking about. That's what creates the excitement. If we just going to keep doing the same old, we just going to have the same old fans with no excitement, no energy, and they was just going to be going through the motion. We got to go beyond going through the motion. We got to create excitement again. We got to have high energy. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. All right. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Want to thank John Grant, the executive director of the MEAC SWAC Challenge and the Celebration Bowl, for coming on. Dr. Kedrick Taylor, who's talking about the Southern University High School Summer Band and Dance Camp, who is taking place this week. They're going to have the showcase on Friday at 6 o'clock, and as well as the National Alumni Federation President Carlton Jones and everybody that called in, from Michael to CJ to Chuck. Appreciate you guys and everybody out there. Be sure to subscribe to the Jaguar Journal YouTube channel. It is free, and be sure to follow the Jaguar Journal across all social media on X, Instagram, as well as Facebook, and check us out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. As always, guys, look, I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Hope you've enjoyed me and enjoyed the show. That's all I got for you, man. Hope you guys have a great week. Thank you. We'll be back next week, more of the Jaguar Journal.
Thank you.
What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.